Watch closely as the man in the Deadpool costume moves through the college parking lot in broad daylight. For the past 2 weeks, he's been stalking 21-year-old Lauren McCluskey. On October 22, 2018, Lauren vanished without a trace. Just 9 days earlier, on October 13th, she went to the campus police department and reported receiving threatening texts from an unknown number. Over the next week, she called police a total of 14 times, but her concerns were dismissed. On October 9th, 10 days before he was spotted in the parking lot, university security footage shows Lauren meeting with her boyfriend, Sean Fields. Her roommate later revealed Lauren planned to break up with him that day. The catch is, Sean Fields wasn't his real name. The mystery surrounding Lauren's disappearance would remain unsolved without the crucial evidence she left behind. She made sure that someone would eventually uncover the truth and expose the man in the Deadpool costume.
He was a predator, manipulator.
Very skilled at getting what he wanted.
Someone who you shouldn't believe a word of what they say.
It's 2013. Lauren resides with her devoted parents, Matthew and Jill, in the quiet town of Pullman, Washington. She enjoys a joyful childhood, excelling in school, and has a tight-knit group of friends.
She was the kind of friend that you could rely on. It wouldn't matter the time or the day. If you needed someone to talk to, Lauren would be there for you.
From a young age, Lauren displayed a natural talent and passion for sports. She was remarkably fast and agile, impressing her parents right from the start.
Lauren was just athletic from the very beginning. She could climb trees at 2 years old and she had no fear. She was pure determination.
With her parents' support, Lauren pursued her passion for sports, quickly discovering a knack for track and field. At just 10 years old, she secured second place at the USA Junior Olympics. By the time she graduated high school, the University of Utah recognized her talent and offered her a scholarship. It's now September 2015. Lauren and her parents arrive at the bustling Salt Lake City campus, home to more than 20,000 students. Her parents feel nervous about leaving their only daughter so far from home, but Lauren's confidence and maturity help her settle in quickly. She soon forms a close friendship with her new best friend, Alex.
We were roommates our freshman year, and we became instant friends.
Over the next 3 years, Lauren continued to thrive in all aspects of her life. She was committed and driven, staying focused on her studies, track events, and of course, spending quality time with her close-knit group of friends. On the night of September 1st, 2018, Lauren's life would change forever. It marked the start of her final year of college, and having recently turned 21, she decided to go out for a fun night with her best friend, Alex. It's Saturday night. Downtown Salt Lake City is alive with energy as students crowd the streets and bars. Lauren and Alex arrive at the London Bell, a popular bar known for its live music and dancing, and conveniently only 15 minutes from their dorm. Before they enter, they're stopped by the bouncer, a tall and charismatic man standing over 6 feet. He greets the two women with a smile, introducing himself as Sean Fields, before allowing them inside.
Her eyes lit up when she talked.
Super smart. You didn't just see her as an athlete. She was a comedian. She's also a dancer.
She did extremely well. She was very excited about graduating.
It's now midnight, and after a fun-filled evening, the girls decide it's time to head home for a good night's rest, as they both have studying to do the next day. Lauren walks toward the bar's exit when, out of nowhere, she feels a hand on her shoulder. It's the man she's been exchanging glances with all night, the charming bouncer, Sean. They chat a little longer, and just before parting ways, he asks her out.
I remember him being very huge, very big muscles. Throughout the night, he would come back and pass through and stop and talk to us a few times.
It's now September 2nd. Lauren gets ready for her first date with Sean. Having never had a serious boyfriend before, she's excited, and Sean seems to be checking all the boxes. He's considerate, friendly, and attentive. They bond over their college experiences, as he's a student too, studying computer science. Though he's a bit older, at 28 years old, Lauren feels safe and happy with him. At the end of the date, Lauren returns home with a smile on her face. Sean seems perfect, kind and hardworking, a dedicated student, yet independent with his own part-time job.
She gave him her number, and they made plans to go on a date later.
Soon, however, Lauren's close friends begin to notice strange behavior in the new relationship, indicating that it may not be as perfect and loving as it first appeared.
It sounded sort of old-fashioned, the way that he was paying attention to her. He took her out for dinner and bought her flowers and asked her to be his girlfriend.
She clearly seemed very happy about her relationship.
It started off really good, like a fairy tale.
Her friends grow concerned, noticing that the independent Lauren they knew and loved now seems to second-guess every decision. The affection and devotion Sean once showed now appear more like obsessive and controlling behavior. He bombards her with texts and calls, and Lauren always responds, seemingly afraid of the consequences if she doesn't. Just a few weeks into the relationship, Sean begins spending all his time with Lauren, practically living with her on campus. He befriends other students in her dorm, and through these connections, he gains access to the building without needing a key card. Lauren becomes increasingly withdrawn, constantly exhausted, and her friends notice she's no longer acting like herself.
She said he told me to wear a t-shirt and jeans, so that's why I'm wearing this.
On October 1st, 1 month after Lauren met Sean, things take a chilling turn. Sean tells Lauren he wants to give her something for her protection. The gift? A loaded military-grade pistol.
Why do you have to answer your phone when that person calls? And she's like, they really want me to answer my phone right away because they just want to make sure where I'm at, what I'm doing, and if I'm okay.
When Lauren's friends learn that her boyfriend wants to give her a gun, they immediately turn to their resident assistant, Diamond, a fellow student who works for the university's housing department. They explain what's been happening with the new relationship and voice their growing concerns about Lauren's safety.
We noticed she was tired. She seemed stressed. You could tell, at least physically in her face, that she was going through emotionally a lot with the relationship. This guy is literally not good for her.
Surprisingly, Diamond isn't instructed to contact the authorities, but instead is told to send an email to university security detailing the escalating situation. On October 2nd, just 1 day after the disturbing gift, campus security receives the first alarming email about Sean Fields. The concerns are mainly focused on Lauren, fearing she might be in a dangerous relationship. There's also worry that her non-resident boyfriend has been on campus too often, might be acquiring a weapon for her, and is suspected of tracking her movements. Despite the serious nature of the email, days pass and Diamond's inbox remains empty. The message appears to be ignored. Then, just a few days later, on October 9th, Lauren makes a shocking discovery. She finds Sean's ID card, but only the photo matches. The name and birth date are wrong. The identity on the card belongs to a 37-year-old man named Melvin Rowland. Lauren is immediately suspicious and begins investigating, searching for his name online, desperate to uncover the truth about her boyfriend.
We would just tell her, no, you don't need it. Your safety is fine. If anything, he's compromising your safety.
Lauren finds out that the name Sean Fields doesn't exist. However, Melvin Rowland is a real person with a concerning criminal history. He has second- and third-degree felonies, including enticing a minor online, attempted forcible sexual abuse, and several parole violations that have sent him back to prison multiple times. With her quick search, Lauren also uncovers that her boyfriend is currently on parole.
She's not hanging out with us as much. He's talking about getting her a gun, and then that's when it had passed the point of, oh, this is harmless gossip. I called my first supervisor and asked her, what's some steps that you want me to take? Do you want me to call the police?
It's late on the evening of October 9th, and Lauren braces herself for Melvin. Knowing he's about to arrive at her dorm, now aware of his criminal past, she is determined to end their relationship once and for all. Late that night, Melvin enters her dorm room, and Lauren gathers all her courage to confront him, sharing everything she's learned. His demeanor shifts immediately, becoming defensive and aggressive. He denies all of his past offenses, but Lauren sees through his lies and remains firm in her decision to end things. After hours of pleading, Melvin finally leaves. On October 10th, Lauren, now broken up with her boyfriend, believes he's out of her life for good. But that belief would prove to be far from the truth.
She and a friend found a picture that looked like him that was a sex offender.
And I was like, are you 100% sure it could be this person? Based on what I was reading online, that was a really hard offense.
Lauren begins receiving messages from multiple unknown numbers, all claiming to be Melvin's friends. Each text becomes more threatening and unsure of what to do. She replies, asking them to stop and blocking the numbers. However, new callers keep harassing her, so she responds once more, warning that she will contact the police if the messages continue. But things only escalate from there. Despite the numbers being unknown, Lauren notices spelling and grammar mistakes in the texts, eerily similar to Melvin's past messages. One text even claims that Melvin has died in a fatal car accident and insists that Lauren must attend his funeral. On October 12th at 4:23 p.m., just 3 days after the breakup, Lauren, now terrified, calls the campus police, fearing she may be in serious danger.
We were coming up with a plan for how she should break up with him.
But no one calls Lauren back. Days pass, and the police haven't provided any updates. Meanwhile, the texts keep coming, growing more intense and alarming with each one.
She started getting a lot of texts.
The case was assigned to on-call detective Kayla Dalov, who was away on vacation at the time. Despite Lauren providing the police with all the troubling details, including Melvin's criminal history, no one in the campus police department follows up on her claims. Most critically, they failed to check Melvin's parole status, which could have added much-needed urgency to the situation. Feeling that she isn't receiving the help she urgently needs, Lauren decides to go beyond campus police and contacts the Salt Lake City Police Department, a larger authority, hoping they can accelerate the investigation. The case was assigned to on-call detective Kayla Dalov, who was away on vacation at the time. Despite Lauren providing the police with all the troubling details, including Melvin's criminal history, no one in the campus police department follows up on her claims. Most critically, they failed to check Melvin's parole status, which could have added much-needed urgency to the situation. Feeling that she isn't receiving the help she urgently needs, Lauren decides to go beyond campus police and contacts the Salt Lake City Police Department, a larger authority, hoping they can accelerate the investigation.
I've been getting these texts from these numbers of
Melvin
different
had
people.
recently
They're saying
purchased
that
a
he was in the
Deadpool
hospital,
costume,
that he
inspired
passed
by
away.
the comic book
I got a text
superhero
about,
movie
asking if I wanted to go
Deadpool
to
2, which had been released
funeral.
earlier that year.
And I
He
think
planned to wear
they're
it for
trying to
Halloween
lure
in
me.
just a few weeks, but in footage captured just 10 days after Lauren broke up with him, Melvin is seen lurking around campus. His identity is concealed as he secretly searches for and stalks Lauren. At 4:02 p.m., Lauren is unaware that her ex-boyfriend is stalking her just around the corner. Notice how he's holding a small black bag. Police would later discover that inside the bag was a deadly weapon, a fully loaded .40 caliber Beretta. 3 days later, on October 22nd, Melvin is spotted again by multiple security cameras, prowling the campus, searching for Lauren and carrying the same black bag. Later that evening, at 8:00 p.m., Lauren finishes her last class and heads back to her dorm alone, just like any other night. As she walks, she calls her mom. Back home in Washington State, Lauren's family has a routine of checking in with each other almost every day to chat about their day and share updates.
At that point, she had already contacted campus police. It was like, you have to go in person. Saturday, October 13th, we headed to the police department. We went inside. I felt like they weren't taking it seriously. He's a sex offender. He went to jail. And I actually had to Google it myself and hand my phone over to him. I do remember them saying, it's a scam, it's probably a scam. She showed them one of the numbers that was sending her messages was the same number Rowland had had when they were in a relationship together. They tell her that the detective was currently not in office and that Warren will hear an update by Tuesday.
Matthew and Jill, both hundreds of miles away, are talking with Lauren on speakerphone when suddenly, both parents hear strange noises through the call, followed by the sound of someone shouting.
University Police are part of the case. I've talked to them already, but I just wanted to call you as well. Usually we just take it where you live. That agency does a case. Yeah, I was just concerned because I wasn't sure how long they were going to take. Okay, let me get you up to them and see what's going on with that for a moment. Do you know when an arrest will be made?
You can talk to an officer if you want. I can arrange that. Do you want that?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
After weeks of Lauren's calls, the police finally take the case seriously and begin urgently searching for the missing young woman, combing the area as quickly as possible, but they find nothing. Lauren's parents continue to call the police, and everyone is now on the lookout for her. Just then, authorities receive what might be their first lead, a phone call from a student who discovered something while walking through the campus.
She was still being harassed and she was still getting messages. I know she was nervous.
Police discover Lauren's personal belongings scattered across the ground, but she's still nowhere to be found. Dozens of cop cars and police dogs flood the area, establishing a perimeter. Concerned students throughout the campus begin asking questions, alarmed by the situation unfolding around them.
She sounded positive and, telling me that she was going to go home and finish an assignment.
The campus staff issues a shelter-in-place alert and releases a description of the prime suspect, Melvin Rowland. A manhunt is launched, with police broadcasting his face on television, hoping someone will recognize him. Time is running out and Lauren remains missing.
She must have gotten tackled or something because I hear the phone fell to the ground.
We were yelling, "Lauren, Lauren!"
I kept calling for her and she didn't answer. I knew that her life was in danger at that time.
I took the landline and dialed 911.
Hi, my daughter, Lauren McCluskey, was talking to her mom. Sounded like someone might have been grabbing her or something.
We were scrambling, trying to figure out where she might be.
All units attempt to locate a suspect involved in possible kidnapping. The victim is Lauren McCluskey.
Finally, police review the security footage and spot a man matching Melvin's description leaving the college grounds. At 8:21 p.m., Rowland is seen walking away from the campus parking lot on foot. He heads to a nearby light rail station, where he is picked up by a driver. Hours pass, and police are still unaware of his whereabouts or what he's doing. That is, until later that night, when a terrified woman contacts law enforcement, claiming she recognizes the man wanted on television.
Hi, I just found a whole bunch of stuff spread out all over the ground and a phone that had an active call. I picked it up.
Where did that backpack out? Can you get a location for me?
The woman tells police that Melvin, once again using a different identity, went out with her that evening. She explains that they met through an online dating app, and she had agreed to pick him up at the train station. They went out for dinner and spent time at her place, where he took a shower before leaving just after midnight. An hour later, at 1:00 a.m., a police officer spots Melvin walking near 200 East and 500 South in downtown Salt Lake City.
No answers. What were they looking for? What was going on?
Melvin runs down the sidewalk, evading the police. The officers close in on him, but he manages to slip away, breaking into a nearby church and barricading himself inside. The entire neighborhood is locked down, and no one knows what will happen next. Then, without warning, gunshots ring out, echoing loudly through the streets. Police spring into action. They force their way through the large wooden doors, guns raised. Inside, they find Melvin Rowland's lifeless body.
I'm calling about my daughter, Lauren McCluskey, that's missing.
We will have officers on scene going on now. We're looking for her. We're going to reach out and talk about her.
While police were searching for Melvin, they were also actively looking for Lauren. They found her belongings and searched her dorm, but she was nowhere to be found. Later that evening, police locate the vehicle Rowland had been driving, a small silver four-door car. The authorities approach it and examine it closely, only to discover a body inside. Acting swiftly, the officer calls for urgent medical assistance.
I saw a picture died, and I saw that he wasn't picked up in a silver Sonata, which is like a switch from my car. And so the picture doesn't name and the same age.
The night of October 22nd, Lauren's parents receive a phone call from the university's track and field coach, delivering news that no parent ever wants to hear.